In times of crisis, communicating with clients is vital, but as companies struggle to keep up with the new challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, marketing and communications may be overlooked. Today, I'm joined by two experts who say this is a big mistake. I'm excited to welcome Monitor Editorial Board members Michelle Speranza, Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer at Lease Commercial Capital, and Colleen Daly-Tinkham, Chief Marketing Officer at American Lease Insurance, to this edition of Monitor's Coronavirus podcast series. Michelle, what is the first reaction many businesses have at the onset of a crisis?
So the first reaction at the onset of a crisis, particularly in our industry, is to assess what you have on the back end. Is it enough for the situation we're facing right now? Is it all where it needs to be? How does it need to change to support businesses that suddenly find themselves in a drastically different environment? This is all new. It's completely unprecedented. There's absolutely no script for this. So it's all hands on deck for most companies as you begin to shift resources from the front end to the back end to support employees, customers, and the changing business requirements to support both of them. But while you're ensuring you have the necessary resources on the back end is absolutely critical, it's also equally important to keep enough resources focused on the front end, because those are the individuals that are in constant contact with your customers. One of the resources is messaging that honestly acknowledges what businesses are facing right now, and those challenges are huge. Countless businesses really are in survival mode right now. For a lot of them, this is an existential crisis. Their entire organization needs to adapt to that and communicate not just competence and capabilities, but also empathy and the assurance that you're all in this together. Every team right now needs the messaging. They need the talking points to be able to compassionately communicate with their customers and reassure them that they are strong, stable, and positioned to support their customers through this crisis.
That makes sense. Colleen, why is communication so critical during this pandemic?
No, absolutely. As Michelle discussed, communicating with your customers, employees, and other constituents is a very important part of business continuity. These people are looking to you for answers and reassurance that you'll continue to be there for them at a time when we're just facing so much uncertainty and stress. Consistent communication is needed, first and foremost, to outline the steps you're taking to keep people safe. For your employees, you need to provide the information that they need, as well as provide support and encouragement. And for clients, to let them know, you have a plan to continue helping them as they manage the crisis, in their own businesses. It's important that your message be easily understandable and that you repeat it in a consistent way. People under stress just don't really process information that well. Though you may not be able to see people face to face, you can reinforce your relationship, and your support for them through communication. It's also vitally important that your internal messaging be regular and consistent. Your team needs to know that the company is there for them too. Staying in touch reinforces your position as a client resource, your brand stability, and the fact that you're continuing to operate and planning ahead.
Michelle, what steps should be performed by your marketing department that may be overlooked?
So marketing, first and foremost, needs to take firm control of all communications during this critical time. It's essential that the message be managed from a centralized unit so that the responses can be crafted consistently across all channels and to all audiences. I think nothing's more important right now than making sure that every touch that you have with your customers and with your employees is consistent and it's also managed. Another very important thing that may get overlooked is consider your media channels right now. So with many cities on lockdown, shelter in place, many channels will be disrupted and you will not be able to reach your target audience with your intended message. For instance, direct mail, print publications, etc., reevaluate each channel and think strategically to realign to reach your audience where they now reside. They may not be, where you were sending your direct mail or where your publication, the delivery address is getting delivered to. So you really need to step back and try to think, how can I best reach them? And to kind of support that, according to recent data from Sawbucks Marketing, marketing firm that specializes in commercial finance. They're finding that people are spending more time on screens than ever before. So in the past 10 business days, screen time has actually changed dramatically. So LinkedIn is up 42%, Facebook time 61%, and Twitter 109%. In addition to that, email open rates across the industry since January have increased from 13.1% to 19.4%. So, I mean, what's that showing you is that right now you have a captive audience on their screen. People are on their phones. People are sitting in front of their computer. This is the time to really reevaluate your channels and start to take advantage and find the people where they're currently at. Another activity is evaluate your automated activities that you currently have set up. So did you have social media posts that were already pre-planned, your programmatic advertising, your automated email messaging, inbox auto messaging? Now is the time you have to take inventory and reassess each message to ensure it matches the tone that's needed for today's customers. You may be having messages that are going out or that were planned to go out that 3 weeks ago made complete sense, but in today's environment would be completely off topic and really not aligned with your customers' current needs. So rework your messaging and content. You know, this is not business as normal. Right now, there really is no normal, and it's imperative that your customers and your employees know how you're adjusting to help them in this great time of uncertainty and need. So, you know, I think sending out, again, regularly planned messages that 3-4 weeks ago were completely appropriate now just, you know, would probably make your company seem like they just really aren't, you know, in line with what's needed from the customers. You know, customers want to hear from their lenders. They want to be reassured. They want to know you're there to help meet their current needs. Now's the time to ramp up your efforts, to partner, to consult, to offer the support to help navigate these truly uncharted waters. They don't want to be sold to. It's important to be careful of your tone when you're talking to your customers. It's really about being a partner right now and, you know, being in this together. So just stay the course, be real, be honest. Allow your brand to communicate to those most impacted by this threat. You know, we need compassion, empathy, and smart conversation around all of these topics because, you know, we're losing that face-to-face time. We're losing that opportunity to connect. So really the written word has to be full of a lot of compassion and empathy and really connect with your audience.
So Colleen, keeping those things in mind, what steps can companies take to communicate effectively during this crisis?
Absolutely. Susan Carroll Creative has developed a checklist for organizations to really help them plan or refine their crisis communication strategy. It has some terrific suggestions. Some of the key points include communicate first internally, increase internal communications to try to ease anxiety and keep momentum. As Michelle mentioned earlier, you need to adjust the tone and message of your communications to reflect the current environment. Calm and measured is key. Be a voice of reassurance and support. Strive for normalcy in your tone in these very abnormal times. Be sure that you consider the information that will be most useful to employees and clients. Put yourself in their shoes. Think about what is most important to them. Is it changes in procedure, relaxed or altered policies, additional services offered? Make it crystal clear what you're doing for them, how they can access services and get answers to their questions. Be sure any systems or services you offer are up and tested before you offer them. Don't overpromise and make a trying situation even worse. Be honest. If there are challenges that will impact clients or employees, better to ask for their patience up front while you work on a solution. We're all in this together, rather than trying to explain why you weren't frank with them later. Know when to stop talking. People are being bombarded with information from every channel. Keep your messaging really relevant and simple. Check in periodically. Clients need to be reassured, but don't overdo it. If appropriate, offer additional contact avenues for clients or reach out directly with support. You should absolutely be leveraging your website and your social media to share information. Consider updating your website with a special bulletin. Try to post on your social media channels as much as possible, but be very mindful of what you are posting. Share content that your clients may find helpful. I've seen some great examples of sharing content, like how to conduct an effective virtual meeting or B2B sales calls during a worldwide pandemic. Just make sure if you reference outside source information, particularly about COVID-19, that it's from verified official sources. In these times, companies really need to pivot. For example, our industry relies heavily on in-person events for business development, meeting with clients, and information sharing. Unfortunately, those events aren't happening now. Companies absolutely need to find new ways to interact and engage with clients and prospects. Marketing and communications can play a major role in helping companies maintain and foster relationships. Think about how to support your customers and your employees. I look at our head of client relations. She has been in constant contact with our clients, and she has been sharing updates with our entire team on almost a daily basis so we can help in any way we can. And I know she's just one example. Equipment finance companies are working diligently with their customers, helping them with payment deferrals and other assistance to support them through this unprecedented time. Our industry has always excelled at meeting challenges, and this may be one of our greatest challenges. In addition to communicating, this is a really good time to do more listening. Invite input from your employees and other constituents for how to proceed during this time of uncertainty.
Thanks, Colleen. Any final thoughts from either of you?
Yes, to wrap up our thoughts on communicating during this crisis, it's important to be honest about the challenges everyone's facing together.
Yep, and we need to acknowledge that and also offer solutions. Now is the time to show your customers what you really do stand for and what they can expect, not only now, but when we've all come through this crisis together.
All right, thank you both.